Okay boys, I have just completed a very successful cut starting from the 12th of October, finishing on the 1st of December, the 30th of November. So in total the cut lasted exactly 50 days, which I didn't expect. I've just asked AI and it was 50 days, which is funny. But on the 12th of October, this is what I looked like, and I was weighing in at 72.8 kg. So, close to 73 kilos really. Now today, on the 1st of December, I have woken up, and this was a video from yesterday, and it's clear to see like the difference. I've kept majority of the muscle, lost a lot of the fat, which is just what you want from a cut. You don't want to be losing muscle, you want to be losing fat, you want to be losing the body fat, and that's what I've done. I've executed it very well. Obviously a bit of muscle has gone, but it is what it is. So in this video I'm going to be showing you and telling you my steps and my journey throughout this cutting phase. I'm reviewing it as well, like thinking what could I have done better, what went well, what didn't go too well. So here, this is the start of the cut, being a while, 72.8 kg. Here's what I was going to be eating daily, which I did stick to for a bit. However, it just didn't really gel with me, sticking to the exact same meals and the exact same food every single day at the exact same time. I don't know, some people that works really well for, but personally for me, I was just a bit like, I'll just track everything, because I don't see tracking calories as a hassle. I see it as a positive. But sticking to the same meals daily, it just got a bit boring after the first 2 weeks of me attempting this. Thing which I did notice this time around on the cutting journey, and you will probably notice yourself on your own cutting journey, within literally the first week, I ended up, losing 3 kilo. I was 72.8 on the first day. By the 10th day, I was, stable 70 kilo. And there's nothing better than that, for the motivation, because at this point, it's not discipline where it's only 10 days in. You aren't actually disciplined to it yet, so you lose a lot of water weight, and I think it's glucose that you lose. You lose that at the start just because obviously you get rid of the bad foods in your diet because you're on a weight loss journey. You get rid of them foods and instantly you see weight loss. So just know at the start of your weight loss journey, you'll drop the most weight quickly. Thing that is a must do and non-negotiable, which I highly would recommend and advise, is track your daily weights and then find your weekly total and continue this until you are at a happy level with your body. Because if I didn't track my daily weights for this 50 days, if I didn't track every single weight, I couldn't even bring out this video because I wouldn't have the information. It's crucial, just so you know what's going on in your body week by week. Don't do that and you track your weights every Friday, once a week every Friday. On Thursday you might have a Diet Coke or some shit like that, and it'll fuck up your weigh-in the next morning. But if you do it every single week, day by day in the week by week, there's no room for error. You can't argue with science and maths, you can, whereas fluctuations do happen in daily weight loss. This is my big page of weights, but I'm going to just write all of the weekly weights here, go through the calories that I was on and the foods that I was eating in this time. But week 1, my overall weekly weight was 69.4 kilos. Week 1, so on MyFitnessPal, I can obviously go back and check all of the tracked foods and stuff. In week 1, I was averaging about 2,000 calories a day. Some would go up, some would be more, of course, but that's just with steps. So the average calories that I was on daily from week 1 was 2,000 calories. 2, on this journey, I was on 1,930 calories daily. And why I dropped weights down to 1,930 calories is just because the metabolism, your basal metabolic rate, slows down when you drop weight, so you have to adjust your calories with the weight loss. Funnily enough, what I'm seeing from the trend from the 2nd of November till the 8th of November is my calories are actually quite high. They're on about 2,000 plus every day. But what I am also seeing in that little time period is that I'm averaging 10k plus steps every single day. Some days I've literally averaged, I got 14,000 steps. So obviously the step goal being so high means that I can eat more food because I'm burning more calories, which is, you know, if you're on a fat loss journey, steps are crucial, steps are king, because who don't want to eat more food? But on the only day where I didn't actually hit, you know, above like 7,000 steps, I hit 3,000 steps this day, the only day that week, and my calories were 1,908. So let's call it 1,900 calories that week. But in this week, I dropped only 0.4 of a kilo, but next week we drop a lot. So again, I've just checked my fitness pal and I've just had a look at the daily steps, and every single day bar one. So on one of the days of this week, I did 1,000 steps, like 1,700 steps. On that day, the calories were 1,870, but on all the other days, I did like 10, 12, 14 even thousand steps. So that made me be able to eat 2,000, but on these days where I was actually hitting 12, 10, you know, all of these heavy, high number of steps, I was still only eating about 1,800 calories. This is why I dropped so much weight in this week. But this is, so you see, yeah, that is the most. Week 5 is a very different scenario because I was working on site this week. So, of course, me working on site, hitting the gym as well in these days, and still eating only whole foods meant I could eat more food. So I actually upped the calories here to about 2,000 per day. I was still hitting, I was hitting so many more steps because I was labouring, so I was going from fucking A to B, C to D, you know, I was just getting about, lifting blocks, lifting bricks. So because of me burning so many calories, I could eat about 2,000 calories per day. And this week, from week 4 to week 5, I dropped 1.2 kilograms on 2,000 calories. So, you know, we can't complain with that, but obviously that's not viable for everyone. Like, people, not everyone can just go and get a job on site, which I've now stopped because, to be honest, it was really mentally draining. Like, it was so hard, me getting up really early, going to the building site, carrying loads of shit, and then going to the gym. Like, and the gym is, you know, my priority. I've got a new job now anyway, so thank Jesus Christ, everything worked out well. But I'll tell you what I think. If you are in this stage now on this week and on the same or even different number of calories, I'll tell you what you should do. It just looks silly, doesn't it? Like, I started on that weight, on that calories, but now on this weight, on this calories. So you can see you know, it's dropping pretty steadily. 30, 30, 30. So what I would have done is I'd have just dropped this. If I wasn't working and I wasn't getting like loads of steps, I'd have dropped this to 1,800. That's what you should do. Week 6, which was the final week of the cut, it is literally just gone. Like, today is the first day of my reverse diet, so this is why I'm filming this video, because it's fresh, it's new. So on week 6, I actually didn't end up losing any weight, and it's sad, but I in fact gained weight. So I gained 0.2 kilos this week on these calories. So it's like, you know, you don't always lose weight. I mean, if I did another week on these calories, I would have dropped probably a whole kilo. But I'm at a body composition where I'm happy and I need to build more muscle for the future. You know, I could have cut for an extra 3-4 weeks, like, because of the number of food I was on. I'm going to show you the number of food that I was on. And it wasn't like a crash diet. It was a very planned thing, because that's what you can't do. You can't crash diet, because after 4 weeks of a crash diet and you're on 1,700 calories, it depends on your size, of course, but you know, a crash diet is just unsustainable. You're going to binge. Your body just needs more. Because I didn't crash diet, I could have probably got down to fucking 60 kilo. Like, it just would have took me, I would have had to diet all throughout Christmas, all throughout December. You know, just, it would have been a long cutting phase. You don't want your cuts to be like 12 weeks, really you don't. I'm very happy with 50 days, week 6, 50 days, like, you know, good cutting time, and I've seen a lot of progress from it. But I'll show you the calories that I was on, even though I gained weight. Did drop it to 1,850 from 2,000. So 150 calories a day, like you would expect to lose some weight, but I'm very happy with how the cut went and how I look. You know, you've seen how I looked from the start. I also weighed in today at 65.3, so you know, this is the calories that I'm on right now. So I've gone up from that to that. This is my first day now today on this. But I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna be doing now for how I track, because I'm gonna change it up. This is gonna be a new way of tracking. So every single day I'm just, you know, I've got all the variables that I need, because of course, like, this is just a bit more in depth, isn't it? Because I've got the calories last night, which are tracked from my fitness pal. So all that I need to do, I mean, if you want to get a ruler, you fucking can. I don't really give a fuck. Only me and the YouTube's gonna see this table. So, but yeah, this is what I have realised. Like, this is a new realisation. I only thought about this today, but this is just smarter, because you know, there's no room for error. Maybe one day of the week you end up having 2,300 instead of 2,120, and then you've got the fasted weight there. So I would recommend doing this. Overall, in the 6 weeks of dieting down, I lost 3.4 kilos, so call it 3.5 kilos, and I'm happy with that. It's crazy because, as you've seen at the start of the video, like, only 3.4 kilos of fat, and it's transformed my whole body, you know. And it's not been like really easy to do, I won't lie. It's obviously discipline, it's a lot of discipline, but you just gotta understand, you know, how much it's gonna benefit your life in a positive way, and it has for me myself. So that's my story, that's my cutting journey, my cutting review. I'm very happy with how it went overall. Like, now I'm gonna build muscle, lean bulk, reverse diet out. But yeah, this is one thing I do want to mention. Don't get to your goal weight and then start eating chocolate, because then you're just going to end, like, the dopamine of it, the sugar rush, like, you're going to end up becoming your old self that you've just fought so very hard to not be. So reverse diet. And if you want to work with me in a one-to-one free of charge coaching, which I'll literally do that exact system that I've just shown you, you just tell me your weight and your calories, I'll do that table for you. I'll get you into a good body composition, trust me. All you got to do for that, leave your Instagram in the comments. Thank you for watching, and let me know if you've got anything to say about my cutting review, like, you got any opinions, and I want to hear them. Thank you for watching, guys. In a bit.